the team I particularly enjoy watching are the Nebraska Cornhuskers, and they made some news this week too, saying that they were thinking of leaving the Big Ten and they're going to find somewhere else to play this year. They were one of two teams in the Big Ten for their presidents to vote against not playing this year. Them and Iowa were the two schools in the Big Ten that voted that they wanted to play. And Nebraska. Listen, I would love to watch college football this fall. I love the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But the fact that they're saying they're just we're gonna go somewhere else to play is ridiculous. First off, you're not a relevant program anymore, and you just joined the Big Ten. So, the Big Ten's paying you millions of dollars in TV revenue that you sold out to join that conference in the first place, and now you think you're just power enough to which conference wants to take us? Maybe if it was the 90s, then, you'd have that power when you were actually good. But, you're a doormat of the Big Ten. The only reason the Big Ten wants you around is it's a free 5 wins in the conference every year because they're a joke right now. So they don't have the authority to be walking around saying, oh, yeah, we're just going to leave conferences here. The Big Ten's been around for over 100 years. If it was a Michigan or something that's been there from the beginning, then maybe they'd have some clout. But it's Nebraska, and they're new to the conference, and that's ridiculous. Secondly, if you're Nebraska and you really wanted to have a college football season, then you should have been wearing a damn mask and taking the safety protocols seriously. Nebraska's governor has ordered that he's not going to mandate people to wear masks in public. So what do you think's going to happen? Your state hasn't taken the necessary precautions for this corona thing seriously, and then you think you're going to get rewarded with a college football season? It's a joke. And the SEC, the same thing's going to happen down south. They're not going to take it seriously. They're going to have a college football season, and it's going to be a disaster. So I can understand why the Big Ten would say, hey, yeah, we don't want to deal with it. We're wiping our hands of the whole thing, and we're not going to be held liable because this thing's going to be a disaster. What the college football needs, and like you said, because the players don't have much representation in all these schools, they have their own presidents, and they're all in their own leagues. The NCAA should have a commissioner that's governing all the leagues so they can all get on the same page and have all the same protocols, and that would make putting on a season much easier than everyone for themselves. It's a free fall. We're going to be jumping conferences. Oklahoma State are going to play each other 12 times next. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's kind of sad, but we've said this in the past. I think it was Sean Doolittle that said that sports are a reward of a functioning society, and most of these places that love college football, the Alabamas of the world, the down south, the Mississippis, Texas, Florida, they have not taken it seriously. So you're not going to get rewarded with college football, and it's going to be too hard to do a bubble on these campuses. So I don't know.
No, I that's a great point. I totally agree. And going off the safety thing, I mean, you'd love to, we're in a day and age where I don't think either of us really wants to talk politics on a sports podcast. But when you have the President of the United States and all these Republican senators saying, we need college football, and yet, like you said, you don't wear a mask, you don't have a mask mandate, you don't follow the rules, what do you think is going to happen? What's not going to happen is the ability to have 50, 60, 70 people on a roster playing each other, traveling around. I mean, it's ridiculous. And it's been a problem with the wins and the losses. Like you said, with the free fall, kind of everyone's for themselves. You got different conferences. You got the UCFs of the world going undefeated, same with the national champions. And then you have, Notre Dame making the national championship because they're not in a conference, never play anyone. And look, in the past, it's whatever. It's just wins and losses in the columns, and it just affects seeding, and it's not a huge deal. But when it comes to time where there's a desperation for some unity that's shown and a joint statement and a joint, force to, have safety protocols and look out for the players and not just a money grab so that these colleges can fund their, their buildings and stuff like that, we're totally lacking any leadership, and it's it's not surprising to me. As soon as this pandemic hit, and as soon as the United States couldn't really get it under control, I feel like the NCAA was saying, "Oh crap, we're screwed," because they can't function properly together to have a season.